Okay, so today I'm brewing up my Rainbow Pale Ale. It's a very simple grain bill. It's just pale malts, Munich malts, carapils, and a little bit of honey malt. For the hops, all I'm using is pretty much Centennial and Cascade, and I'm throwing in a little bit of Simcoe and Amarillo at the very end. Let me go ahead and show you the recipe. Here we go, simple recipe, all great of course. Like I said, pale malt, Munich malt, carapils, and some honey malt. Here's the percentages over here. First wort hoppings will be Centennial. At 20 minutes, I'll put in Cascade and Centennial. At 15 minutes, whirlpooling tablet, yeast nutrient. 10 minutes, I'll put in another Cascade, Centennial. 5 minutes goes in the Amarillo and Simcoe. And then at flame out and steeping for 10 minutes, it will be another addition of Cascade and Centennial. That's about it. I'm using White Lab 001 today, and it's going to be pretty low ABV. I'm shooting for about a 5.1% ABV beer. So for the actual brew, I've already started. Mashing has been going on. Right now I've ramped up the temperatures to 75, so it's just reached 75 for mash out. And you can see the actual temperature coming out of the bottom of the mash tun is only at 67, so it's going to take a little while to ramp up. It took about 14 minutes to ramp up to 75 degrees in the HLT. And here's what the wort looks like in the mash tun. So it's looking pretty good. It's a nice clear wort. Just some shadows here today. So time to go ahead, switch it over, and start getting ready to put it in the boil kettle and start to sparge. Here we go, the wort trickling in, looking really nice and clear. Yeah, that's going to be great. Alright, so just filling up the boil kettle, so time for that first wort hopping addition. Just go ahead and sprinkle that on the bottom. That's the Centennial. That'll be nice. When you do forced wort hopping, utilization out of that usually becomes about 20% of what you would normally expect out of a normal hop utilization. 100%. Alright, my 15-gallon kettle is just about full. Shooting for 13.1 gallons. I'm currently just under 13. So yeah, I think I'll make it, no problem. Still got coming up from the HLT, which is now less than 3 gallons, so I can't see the volume in there anymore. But yeah, I checked the gravity. Coming out of the mash tun is currently 1015, so I'm good there. Currently in the kettle is 1048. I'm shooting for 1047 for a pre-boil gravity, so everything's on track. Looking good. Alright, hot break. At this volume, I definitely use the water. Definitely use the water squirter. Absolutely. Okay, so the boil is under control now, and let's go ahead and call that 60 minutes. Start the timer, count down 60, and then the hop addition will be when we reach 40 minutes, which will be 20 minutes left in the boil. So I've already cleaned out the mash tun. Just got to finish cleaning it out. Always a pleasure. But the main thing that I'm doing right now is I've measured the pre-boil volume and the pre-boil gravity, and that gives me my gravity units. So let's take a look at that. So here I came up with 13 gallons at 1048, and if I multiply 13 by 48, that gives me 624 gravity units. So if I divide that by my target post-boil volume gravity, here 1054, then that gives me 11.5. So I'm shooting for a boil-off rate that will get me down to 11.5 gallons here. So that'll be right about here. When I get to 11.5, then I should be at 1054, which is my target post-boil gravity. So then I'll just go ahead and monitor my boil-off rate and make sure that I hit my target. So at the end of the boil, at the end of the 60-minute boil, I am right here. Now if I see and I calculate every 15 minutes, if I'm going too slow or if I'm going too fast, then all I'm going to do is come up here to my PID and I'm just going to adjust it. So right now my boil off rate, or the duty on the PID is at 80%. So if I'm boiling off too fast, I'll back that off to 75%. If I'm boiling off too slow, I'll up that to about 85%, and then continue to monitor. Alright, so we're just over 22 minutes, about to reach 23 minutes into the boil. So there's 3 stages of 20 minutes, right? 20, 40, 60, and an hour. So by this time we should be one-third way into our boil. So if we look down here and see, we started off at 13, 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. So looks like I'm on track in order to make sure that I reach 11.5 gallons at my 60-minute mark. That's pretty important to make sure all of my numbers line up. Alright, there we go. 40 minutes into the boil, 20 minutes left. Time for our 20-minute hop edition, Cascade and Centennial again. Just go ahead and put it in there. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of sentimental about watching the hop drops. You never know if something's going to jump out at you. Alright, 45 minutes. Always remember your whirlpooling tablet and yeast nutrient. There it goes. Okay, now we're at the 10-minute mark. Time for the 10-minute edition. More Centennial Cascade. Just right in. There we go. Not much happening. A little bit of foam up. At least there's no fish jumping out of it. Alright, here we go. 5-minute hop edition. This is the Amarillo and the Simcoe. Oh, there you go. Bam. I don't know who made this hop schedule, but damn, it keeps me busy. Barely had time to set up my pipe in here for the chill down. Okay, so now the boil is over. I'm slowly chilling this down to 76 degrees Celsius in order to maintain all of those essential oils that are here inside my final edition, inside my flame out edition. So coming out of the boil kettle, through the pump, through the counterflow chiller, back up into my whirlpool port, which is whirlpool in the wort. You can see it turning at a pretty good speed there towards the edge. And in the center, it's doing exactly what a whirlpool should, just consolidating everything in the center and then dropping it down in. Alright, there we go. Got a little bit low, about 72 now, 73, and that's okay, as long as it's not above 76. So there goes in my flame out edition Centennial and Cascade. I'm just going to go ahead and let that steep for 10 minutes, and then I'll go ahead and crash it through the counterflow chiller and go directly into the fermentation buckets. Got one right there, one over there, ready to go. Alright, just taking a quick shot, checking out my pH after the boil, coming in at 5.3. I think anything considered between 5.2 and 5.4 is considered good, so I'll accept that. There we go. The target was 1054, and I believe I got 1054, so I call that good. Alright, so here we go, a shot of it coming down through the counterflow chiller out into the fermenter. What a hodgepodge this is, but it works. Partial aeration. Alright, let's go ahead and shut this off. That's 19 liters. It's 5 gallons. Time to switch it up for the next one. Alright, filling up the second one now. Checking out the kettle. See how the hop sledge is sort of built up on top of things. Alright, there we can see how the hop debris is sort of settled in the middle after the whirlpool. Pretty good. Of course, the turbulence from the element makes it kind of a bit of a pain in the ass, but It's doing pretty good. Okay, and here we go with the next to last step, oxygenating the wort. And I've already done it for this one over here. You can see I've got just a little bit less than 19 liters, so about half a quart low. And yeah, so I've got my aeration stone at the end of this tubing, which then is hooked up to the oxygen bottle over there. Right. Been doing this for about a minute on each, and I'll call that good. Alright, so I had a 2.5 liter starter here. I got about 1.25 liters that are going to go into each. So I poured that out, measured it out here. So there goes this one. Whoa! Minus a little bit. This one will just go straight directly into it. Cap on that. So that brings us up to almost 21 liters there, and just over 19 liters here. So just over 5 gallons. I got about 5 1/4 gallons here.